Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world and watching. Dominica here, and today I am coming to you with an unexpected and very spontaneous session, a recording broadcast with Yeshua. I wasn't planning on doing this broadcast, and in fact, I haven't done any broadcast with Jay for quite a while, simply because I was going through my own healing. The energies have been very, very intense, which I'm sure we all experience in that. And also, I was having some personal things that I had to take care of. And today, out of the blue, out of the blue, um, as I was working and communicating with Jay in relation to a personal matter, he asked me to start a recording and do a channeling for all of you. His guidance always comes from the most loving and wise place. So I trust that probably what's going to happen is there will be a lot of messages and answers for all of you and for myself, as I was asking him a lot of questions, and his response came in the form of a request to do this recording. So what I'm going to do now, I will simply tune in and allow him to come through, and we'll see what he wished to share with us today. I hope you will enjoy. Please relax, and you can even close your eyes to feel into his more energy even more. His presence, as I often say, is one of a kind, very powerful, but in the same time very, very gentle and very loving. So I'm sure you can feel that if you allow yourself to fully relax, and as I said, even close your eyes. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm just gonna take a moment. Hello, everyone. It's such a pleasure and honor to be here with you one more time. Thank you very much, Dom, for allowing me and for creating this space so I can come through and speak to you and to many others. And today, the topic I would like to bring in is the ego structure, as I can see from the wider perspective when looking at the collective current situation, is that many of you is actually struggling to see through the illusion and see through the behaviors, actions, and thought patterns that actually come from nowhere else but your ego structure. As mentioned in the previous recordings, you all, as I did in my incarnation as Jesus, have two types of minds. The first mind is the ego mind that will always tempt you to take actions and create thoughts that are based on ego, lack, or any form of limitations. Your heart, which is the mind that is constantly being connected to the divine source of wisdom, is your second mind, that it would be our greatest wish all of you could be constantly reaching out to and sourcing your decisions and choice making from this specific space. You are currently going through a very, very powerful portal, allowing many of you to actually attend and ignite and accept the shift that is being offered to you on the energetic and consciousness level. And this is also a time where, as during every single significant shift, your ego structure will become more and more powerful while trying to preserve its form. Rest assured that during those shifts, you are actually all receiving a much greater support than you allow yourself to believe or feel. And we all, as a one unit, we can clearly see the attempts all of you are making to help yourself with the changes that need to take place within each and every single one of you. And we are always very actively supporting you. What we can see that the ego structure within the collective and within the single units is becoming now more and more determined to preserve itself, and is causing quite a lot of distortion and disruption uh, while you are all going through this monumental shift into higher frequencies. The ego itself, the ego itself that has been part of your life knows absolutely everything about you. The ego itself, most of your lives, has been actually perceived by the self as the true self, which I'm sure all of you are now aware it's not. But because it has been active and overly utilized in your daily routines, even though many of you manage to let go of many different aspects and traits of your ego self, it is still trying to overtake the divine self and is trying to preserve its existence through many saboteuring techniques, especially when it comes to creation of your thought patterns. You need to remember that the whole creation of your reality and the way you are actually the way you are actually going through the shift, the smoother the path, the harder the path. It all depends how much ego is there involved. And ego itself, of course, knows that the creation of your reality starts within your mind, starts with every single thought. And we spoke with Dom before about the power of your word, and we've been encouraging you to start becoming more present, more rooted in the now, so you can start observing the thought patterns that you hold within your mind. If you are not present, if you are constantly rooted in the past or being worrying about the future, it is only natural that the space, the studio of the artist that is creating the reality will be taken by your ego, not by the true self. That's when the creation will also be based on the fears, limitations, and lack. If you give this space fully to being present in your heart, then the studio of creation is being taken over by your heart, by the connection with the God, where there is simply no place for illusion, limitations, lack, or fear. This is my next attempt and big encouragement for all of you to allow yourself to be more present during those incoming shifts, especially for the 8th of August that you all call as the Lion's Gate, as it is bringing you great opportunity to actually escalate your progress in a great manner. But to do so, you need to actually become more committed to stay in an observer mode and know exactly what is going on in the studio of creation. Many of you are simply very easily falling for the trap of stepping back into the conflict. Instead of offering yourself the quiet space, instead of offering yourself the compassion and the consideration for everything that you had to go through in the past incarnations and what your lineage had to go through, you very easily step into what ego really wants you to be, which is the frequency of war and conflict. Many of you is starting the internal fight, trying to prove which one can win and who is better. It's not about proving that the God within you is better, stronger, bigger. God itself does not need to prove himself to anything else, because all there is God and everything is illusion. If God would want to prove himself that it's grander than the illusion, then the God would simply be acknowledging that the illusion is somehow real, which is not. And this is the mindset that you should all start embodying, fully accepting every single day, especially when you are facing any form of distortions, any form of difficulties. Know that when your external reality is presenting you with some form of difficulties or a fear is being triggered within your body, it is not to scare you, it is not to push you back off your track, it is not to make you doubt the path that you have taken, but it's simply for you to give you the chance and opportunity to acknowledge that this is an illusion, it does not come from God, and therefore deny it. The more you deny it and the less of your own energy, especially energy that you are turning into the conflict, are given to those kind of situations, the smoother your path will be. There will be many more experiences for each of you on the individual level, but also on the collective when you will look what is happening around the world, that the illusion itself will try to fool you so you can again support the collective with your own energy to actually grow the conflict within. This is not what we want. This is not what we want for any of you, and we don't want it for the collective either. What we want you, though, to start exercising and practicing more is the stillness and the awareness of what is illusion and what is the truth. The more you give yourself to the illusion by going into the freeze mode and you respond with fear and you respond with many different conflicting speculations within your mental space, the more you are losing, the more of your power you are actually losing. The choice is very easy, and you can also very easily take your power back. You've been probably responding to similar situations over and over again throughout your whole life, so you must know that by following the same exact steps that usually never took you anywhere else but to a further conflict or misery or any form of sadness and frustration simply shouldn't be repeated. Instead, what you can do is simply observe and announce and acknowledge that what I see here is an old pattern, what I see here is an old fear of mind that was present within my conscious or subconscious mind. And as I see that it's not coming from God as it is fear-based, I am simply denying it. And I choose to turn my attention and in the same time my energy towards something positive, a positive thought, or simply towards my heart and God within. I choose to take an action that will be inspiring for others. I choose to take an action that will bring hope and clarity for others. I choose to be in service to others, or if I want to be in service towards myself by being kind, compassionate, and do something truly, truly loving just for myself. This is the best way to move forward. The more often you deny the illusion, the less the illusion will have the reason to return to you. It is actually also a great opportunity for you to start exercising your boundaries and start exercising your throat chakra. So many of you have been silenced and suppressed throughout your childhood and growing periods, but also your lineages, they carry a huge traumatic events within that often have been suppressing their throat chakra and bringing up the inability to speak up for themselves. This is also what the collective ego is expecting from you, to not being able to use your voice. It's not being able to say no. It's simply to accept everything what is being given to you as an inventable reality. This is something you should all start exercising more and more, as I'm sure all of you want to shift the collective reality for the better. You all wish to start to perceive and experience the so-called new earth, the higher dimensional place, the heaven on earth. But to be able to do that, you need to loudly say no to the old. If you will stay silent, if you will not utilize the power given to you by the divine, which is your voice, which is the ability to make a choice and stand up for yourself and make the free will choices, you will not be able to step into the higher dimensional earth. Higher dimensional earth is pretty much based on a free will choice. It is also based on a free will, on a free expression that comes through your voice. So the more you are suppressing your voice right now, the more you are suppressing your truth. The more you are suppressing your truth, the more you are actually saying yes to the illusion. Don't be afraid to use your throat. Don't be afraid to use your voice. You may be surprised how one single no that does not need to be expressed with anger or loud scream can actually change within your own frequency. And the reason for that is that once you utilize that no, once you utilize that ability to actually set a boundary and speak clearly about what you feel, how you feel, and what you wish to create from the heart, will actually shift your whole frequency instantaneously within you. So today I am returning back to you with this message of being more present with the true self rather than allowing the ego to take over the creation of your reality. Yes, we do all understand how frustrating, frightening certain situation can be for you. But trust that once you shift the perception from I am being attacked, I am being misled, I feel lost, to this is an opportunity for me to actually express what I want and make different choices, your strength within, your power within also will feel much greater. And once you take that different step, the reality within you will start shifting and responding to that different approach that you just displayed. Please know that the frequency that you are creating throughout the day is the source of the creation of your reality. And this is what you shall be looking after the most every single moment. And we do not expect from you to be at your highest point peak all the time, but at least keep the awareness alive. And even when you allow your frequency to go lower, even if you will notice that you actually just repeated the same choice, made the same decision that was actually in fact based on fear or any form of limitation, bring yourself back up. Do not feel guilty. Do not judge yourself. Simply practice the awareness and give yourself the opportunity next time to make a different choice and make a different decision. None of you here that is overlooking the ascension, the collective awakening process is ever judging you. So you do not do that the same, because again, it is the ego that will want to push you back into your guilt mentality, into the guilt frequency. Remember that whenever you start feeling guilty, it is your ego doing, it is not God's doing, it is not your spirit doing. Guilt is one of the main weapons that will keep you in fear, because when you feel guilty, you are fearing consequences. And in truth, there is no guilt, there is no sin. And you should all start embodying more the fact that whatever is happening, whatever you are experiencing in your reality, in your life, should be always approached with no judgment and simply with love and compassion. And after that should be followed, how can I make a different choice next time? And I know that God will provide me with a new opportunity. With this message, we are all sending you so much love and support. And we will be returning back very, very soon with new teachings, new wisdom, and new assistance for your collective awakening and ascension process. We love you all. Thank you so much. I think this is such a valid and very much needed reminder of the huge number of opportunities we are actually receiving every single day when we can make different choices and we can make different decisions. So many of us, I will now speak from my most recent experiences and the encounters with my clients. So many of us, as we decided to incarnate during the collective ascension, we have actually chosen to incarnate into lineages that carried so many difficult karmic cycles that were, as Jay said, based on fear, that were based on limitations, suppression, especially the throat chakra. And I can see within my own personal life, and I can see within the lives of my clients, that it is in fact often very difficult to step out from this cycle. And simply it may seem difficult, it may appear difficult because we don't know what other choices to make if we have been making same choices over and over again. And sometimes it feels like we are trying to make a different decision and follow the heart, but still the results may seem almost the same. The experiences I've been going through led me to believe that actually, as Jay said, that the ego that knows everything about us and will be trying to fool us with yet another illusion also knows that the way our human self is created or is programmed is to see the positive results after making a different choice right away. What is in actuality happening that when we will make a different choice, when we will make a different decision, and the reality that we see is still the same, the ego will try to push us very, very quickly into the doubt, and our logical mind will start to go into a conclusion that, see, it didn't work. I told you it wouldn't work. But what actuality is happening, and what we shall do, is to make a choice, make a decision, and then take an action that is based on this new decision, and simply surrender that, simply detach from it, knowing that the external reality needs time to kind of rearrange itself to support the new choice. The ego will want us to expect for everything to shift immediately, but it does require the time where actually we are being given another opportunity to practice our patience, to practice our trust, to practice our internal knowing that we are always held and supported. Sometimes it's just the very little that we can do here on the human level, and we may think that maybe we didn't do enough, that maybe we didn't tried hard enough. But what matters, the change that we are making that matters, is within actually our frequency. Because if we are truly making this different choice and decision, truly from the heart, there is nothing that can go wrong. The mind will try to fool us, the ego will try to fool us that we made the wrong choice, that the ego was right, that nothing is changing. But there is a lot of invisible change. I've learned through my experience, when I'm usually actually a very impatient person, that I am very quickly jumping into conclusion that even though I made a different choice, um, I'm still not seeing the results. And this is actually the very quick judgment that I'm making, that is based on, again, lack, is leading me to step back into my old frequency, where what we need to do is to make that choice, know that we made it from the heart, know that we know truly that it is the choice that was divinely guided, and then allow for the results to come in at its own pace and time. But our responsibility is to hold this vibration and this trust and this faith that this is what I wanted to do, and I stick with it. If we will start performing, creating this fluctuation, like, this is what I want, yeah, I did it, but now I don't trust it and I'm going back, and then no, I'm going to try it again, and then we repeat the cycle. This is exactly what will be actually just extending the so-called waiting time and the arrival of the new reality. The way energy works, the energy likes to know where it should be going, and the way it knows where it should go is through our focus. So as long as we stay focused that our destination is higher frequency for oneself or for the collective, and I'm going every single day, moment to moment, through those situations where I'm making those different choices, and they are aligned with me and they are in agreement with my heart, everything is okay. And just keep going and keep your focus on where you are trying to arrive, on your destination, also without any expectation how the destination will eventually present itself to me. All you need to do is stick to the version of you that you are trying to step into. But the ego itself is true, and I did many lives, many broadcasts about the traits of the toxic ego, which is very, very toxic, and I can feel it, I can sense it within individuals and within the collective, because it's truly trying to fight for itself. And on top of that, we are actually being surrounded by so many invisible negative energies that are also, trying to attach themselves to this toxicity that is still present within us. That it's sometimes very easy to lose the focus. It's very easy to go back, and then we are repeating the cycle, and we are losing the hope and the faith, and we are losing the trust in ourselves. And when we are losing the trust in ourselves, we are losing ourselves and the connection to divine, to our own divinity. And this is what the ego wants, and it knows that these are the strategies that it can use against us. What's more, whenever we allow for it to happen and the ego structure sees, because it's literally like a being, it sees that it's working, it's going to come back and use it over and over again, trying to bring up the victim within us, because that's what ego is. And our solar plexus, that normally is the shining sun, is the self-empowerment, the power, the knowingness, the divine power within us, the perseverance, is being filled with this victim-like frequency. And we can have stomach issues, we can have abdominal issues, and ego will always try to take this victim out of us, and it will make us feel so real. It will try to bring up all the reasons why we should feel victimized. Remember that whenever you are feeling overwhelmed with the energy, frequency, emotions that are linked to the victimhood, is not your true self doing. And when I was going through those literally like emotional attacks, when everything felt so real and I truly felt so victimized and sad, and I wanted to cry and I wanted to scream, and I would say, God, you are abandoning me. I can't see you. I can't feel you. Where's the result? That's when ego was going very, very happy. But what Jay would often come to me was, you're falling for the illusion again. It will make you feel that it is real. But remember, what you are experiencing here is a dream, and this dream responds directly to your frequency. And what I want you to do now is to take the power, the control over your frequency, not over the external reality. The external will respond to your frequency. So what I want you to do, what is happening now, it is not an act of a violence that is being imposed on you, but an actual opportunity to train the perseverance, the strength, the inner power, the focus within you. And just say to yourself, it's an illusion. I do not fall for that. It's simply my old matrix falling apart. I don't care how many weird experiences or situations will present themselves in front of my eyes. I know they are not real. They're not here. They are not happening. It is simply a distorted expression of some old beliefs that I was storing within my subconscious mind. And I am now releasing any fear that I ever was creating towards these situations, and any fear that I was allowing to take over my whole being. It is not true. I am redirecting my whole attention, my trust, my faith towards the divine. And whatever comes from the divine does not present itself in front of me in the form of such a nasty distortion. So I only respond to God, not to the illusion. Very, very important, as I do feel that we are purging a lot. We are being asked to release a lot. We are actually being trained a lot. It feels like we are being trained, prepared in terms of patience, in terms of trust and faith. And we need to stand up. We need to stand still in the eye of a storm. And it's true, as Jay said, if we shift the perception from the victim, like, why is it happening to me again, to, okay, I am being here given an opportunity to deny the illusion and hold my trust in the divine. I hope you enjoyed this short broadcast, and I am very, very grateful to Jay for stepping in so unexpectedly and bringing forth this amazing message and teachings. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day. Sending you all much love.